global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
The ruffling of Mike Ozekhome and Shehu Sani by Wike, the FCT Minister, in the 25th award or 25th lecture and award meeting of this Nigeria newspaper has triggered a lot of reactions from Nigerians. But however, it's important for us to know exactly what did Mike Ozekhome said when he had an opportunity to lecture in that award meeting. That's what we're going to be looking at right now. He started off by talking about Wike and all of that, but then that wasn't really the crux of the issue. The main thing you're going to hear right now, what he said that made Wike to call him out when he had an opportunity to talk about how he was also patronizing the business of these so-called corrupt politicians who are involved in rigging of elections. Blah, blah, blah. Let's listen to full details of what he said.
Well, according to Mike Ozekhome in Abuja, I said as the prices of goods continue to quadruple and insecurity and hunger ravaging the nation, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has again been told to cut down on the price of a decisive governance. That President Tinubu has been told to write his name in gold by addressing the plight of the masses and stop the purchase of aircraft and cars. At this point in time, the country is facing hard times. Now, speaking at the annual lecture and gold prize award with the theme 25 years of unbroken democracy, challenges, prosperity and possibilities, organized by this Nigerian newspaper, a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, and human rights activist Mike Ozekhome asked President Tinubu to go all out there and feel the impulse of Nigerians. Ozekhome noted that Nigeria is not fully practicing what democracy is all about, adding that the country only have civilian democracy. He lamented that unlike before, when Nigeria was producing almost all the essential goods, when Naira was higher than the dollar, companies are now leaving the country in droves, and adding that the nation is losing about 94 trillion naira to the exodus of these companies. Ozekhome said, and I quote him word for word, "What manner of democracy are we practicing? Have we gained or lost something? Democratic is the government of the people, but democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Is it the same government we are practicing? We have not quite gotten the tenet of democracy. We only have civilian government. That is when votes are allowed to count. It is when you will say there is democracy. One of the best qualities of a leader is to know when you're wrong. Companies are leaving the country. Nigeria is losing about 94 trillion naira because of the exit of these companies. Most of them are leaving because of insecurity and other issues. We can arrest the drift like what the Asian tiger did. They invested in education and all that. We need our leaders to galvanize our people. We should leave out tribalism, favoritism, ethnicism, and others that are not good, that are not doing us good. We need a new constitution like what America did then. Not only do we need to decentralize, but we need a new constitution. We need legal reform. We need electoral reform, amongst others. We should do away with political corruption, where people in government takes the largest chunk what belongs to the people. Mr. President, there is hunger and anger in the land. Disguise yourself one night and go out there and see what Nigerians are facing. Block all loopholes and cut the size of governance. The size of government is too large. We should stop the buying of aircraft and cars. The people are hungry. Mr. President, you have an opportunity to write a name in gold. In time of crisis is when we know great leaders come out and empathize with the people. You empathize with the people you lead. You can do it. It's not impossible. In his remarks, the chairman of the occasion, Abdul Salam Abubakar, represented by General Adamu Jida, retired, noted democracy is a testament of the will of the people, adding that it is a testament which represents the collective voice our shared value and common aspirations. He said 25 years ago in 1999, our nation embarks on the path of democratic governance, a path marked by aspirations, challenges, and unwavering commitment and to the placement of freedom, justice, and equality. Democracy has always been merely a system of government. It is a testament to the will of the people. It represents our collective voice, our value, and our shared value and common aspirations. For Nigeria, the past 25 years has been a testament of the resilience and strength of our democratic institutions. Despite the myriads of challenges that have come our way, we have remained steadfast in our democratic ideals. In his remarks, the publisher of this Nigeria, Eric Osiage, narrated how the newspaper came into during the COVID and all. Alright, we've heard exactly what Ozekhome said, and that inked the person of Wike. My colleagues in the house, you've heard what Mike Ozekhome said. What is this thing that he said? That's as in, what can you relate what he said now with what Wike said that could probably must have made Wike to get angry? A quick one. Before he started all of this, he made mention of the cooking powers of Wike, how Wike have been able to transform. That for 9 years he has been in Abuja, he never knew there was actually an FCT minister until Wike came around and was able to do some certain things that made him realize actually FCT has a minister, which is a plus for Wike.
Yeah.
But why then would Wike come all out and drag him really, literally, for saying this truth that even they're talking about democracy and where the vote of the people in democratic setting will count. And Wike was now dragging him. If you check our video, you get to see it, where Wike was not dragging Ozekhome for saying that you are the one still defending those corrupt politicians that rig elections, as you are always the lead counsel of their legal team. And of course, Shehu Sani for what he said. What's your take on all of this?
Now, don't forget that Wike is a very strategic politician and is a very good press singer. If he is in your league, or if you have something to offer him and he hangs around, you can be ready for so much praise coming from him. And he doesn't always love to be, at the side that gets the last slam or the last slap when it comes to the issue of political fight. He always loved to throw the last, in the
Last
punch. And we've all seen it in several occasions. And that's why we know that this fight between him and Fubara is going to be a long one, because until he gives Fubara one that lands him to the ground, he's not going to rest. We know who Wike is. It has been his lifestyle, and he always opts for victory no matter what. Wike wants to be victorious. It doesn't matter whose ox is God and all of that. So that was what we saw there. He listened to how Mike Ozekhome took out time to tell Nigerians the truth. Even if he said that politicians and so-called activists always love to go, Wike said they always love to go the path of where Nigerians will clap for them. But let's tell ourselves the truth. Everything that Mike Ozekhome said there was nothing but the truth. And slapping Tinubu's government in front of Wike, to him, is something he can't stand it, and that's why he had to get at him using that medium, you understand? But we must not also forget that Mike Ozekhome is a lawyer, senior advocate of Nigeria for that matter. And what matters is a lawyer. What I mean there is he's just doing his business. He's not partaking in the fraud they're carrying out. You wouldn't say
that's true.
He was only out there to defend. He didn't partake in the rigging. He didn't encourage anybody to rig. Though most people will also say that for you to stand up to defend them, you are kind of encouraging them to continue the rigging and all of that. But be that as it may, let's tell ourselves the truth. What he said there that provoked Wike was the fact that he could show Nigerians facts and figure. Imagine what he said about the sudden departure of companies out of Nigeria. Oh, they're countless. Every day they are leaving Nigeria. Microsoft has left, drug-related companies, pharmaceutical companies have left. Name them. There are so many that are leaving on a daily basis. And Nigeria is going to be losing about 94 trillion naira when it comes to the issue of the revenue generation, income revenue generation. So that alone is a slap on us. Talked about the fact that the president needs to disguise himself and show up in a place to see the plight of Nigeria. This is nothing but the insecurity has not been handled. You can count countless things that he mentioned. So it was a truth. That's what Wike cannot stand. And that's why we saw him coming at him. And unfortunately, like we had said in our previous video, if you must be part of equity, your hands must be clean. And that is what Shehu Sani couldn't do for himself. He never knew that someday the time will come that he will go back to his activist business, and start fighting the government of the day. His hand is not that clean as if we want to talk about it, because we know that when he was on board, his constituency did not really enjoy so much from him.
But you
So
will
all
not
of
call
that,
him. You will not call him corrupt, because corruption in Nigeria has stages.
yes,
Is not even close to
but
corruption.
still, even if you can't call him, but if he had do some small misappropriation of funds, automatically he's part of that clique. So don't come here and be beginning to talk as if you are better than us because you're part of even the problem. Don't forget that the problem in Nigeria is actually progression now. That's why I stand in support of what Fubara is trying to do. Fubara said something. I don't want this so-called chairman to do something that will stand as a reference in democratic history of Nigeria, such that every other local government chairman will say it happened in River State, so it must happen here. As far as it's not enshrined in the constitution, and another one, if it is unconstitutional, I can't allow it to happen in my state. So unfortunately, these guys, Shehu Sani, whether he misappropriated the fund, he did not do what he was supposed to do. It was from the other senators also came on board and realized, okay, if this guy didn't do it, me, I can stop. I can stay as long as possible without doing anything for my people. So that's where the problem comes from. You
All right,
understand?
we could go on and on. Quite a lovely interactions, I must say. Let's meet in our conversation. What's it?
Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze.